so great to be out of the city. Smell the air. There's salt in the air. It's from the ocean. I love the ocean. I'm so sick of all that cement in the city. You smell the air in the city and you smell car exhaust and those fat, unhealthy pretzels that those vendors sell in Midtown. But here, it's all healthy. I can't wait to eat only healthy foods. What is tofu exactly? Well, we don't have to eat tofu, just vegetables and fish and maybe chicken. But not put butter on anything. Except maybe on a piece of bread with some sugar on it. You ever do that? My mother taught me to do it. Isn't it gross? But boy, it gives me energy. Gee, I really love the seashore.
My father was a wonderful man. I mean, he used to wait in me hand and foot, and my mum and I knew that we had him absolutely wrapped around our finger. So when I grew up, I always thought I'd marry a kind and selfless man just like my dad. Instead, I met Frank. You see, Frank required a lot of back rubs. He had a really sore back, and so I would be giving him back rubs for 30 minutes at a time because he'd always ask for them. And then when it came time for me to get back rubs, he would never give them to me. And if he did, it would be on odd chance for like 30 seconds. And this one time, I broke both of my arms so badly that they both had to go in casts. And despite this, I still gave him back rubs because I was a good wife. And then the doctor told me that because of the prolonged use in my arms during the cast, I could have done permanent damage to my arms and I needed to stop, or else I'd get shooting pains for the rest of my life. So I told Frank this. And you know what he said to me? He said I was over-exaggerating, lazy, I didn't love him, and that's why I wasn't giving him any more back massages. So I killed him. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is.
No. You gotta wait 3 days before you call a woman. It's just the rule. Jesus invented that rule. Yeah. Imagine if he'd only come back after 1 day. I mean, nobody would have time to even know that he was dead. People would be like, Jesus, what up? And he'd be like, what up? I died yesterday. And they'd be like, Jesus, you look pretty alive to me. And then he'd have to explain how he was resurrected and it was a miracle. He waited the exact number of days. 3. 3, Ted. Okay? We wait 3 days to call the woman.
Well, alright, it's just you and me, companion. From this point on, according to rule number 72, we are never allowed to leave each other, except for the bathroom. It's awesome, because all my friends end up always leaving me, but you can't. Okay, favorite movie. Are you a Star Wars fan or a Star Trek fan? I want to know everything about you. Personally, I'm a Star Wars fan. But I can like Star Trek more if you can be better.
My cat died last week. 37 years old. Died falling off the counter. She was dead before she hit the ground, I suspect, but I haven't buried her either. Been too sad about it. So I just stuffed her in the freezer. Now every time I go in to get a popsicle, I see her there and I just start crying again. To make matters worse, I sat down on my couch yesterday and I noticed there was a tear in it. I should probably get some thread and stitch it up, but you know, it'll only get bigger if I don't. It's like that thing that people say, a stitch in time. Something about a stitch in time. You know, it's like a universal way of fastening all things. Like zip up your jacket now, or you'll be cold later. Or take your antibiotics now before you give them to your friends. Or go to rehab before you OD on cough medicine or PCP or whatever. Or take care of your mama. My mom was okay. In fact, it was a pretty good day. If I wasn't thinking about my cat. My couch. And a shotgun shot me in the foot. Probably get gangrene. I'm hoping the burlesque show will cheer me up, though.
I take up Mom's ashes. I recite a line from Shakespeare, Othello. She loved that one. And then I say goodbye, Mom, and I toss her up into the air. And by the air, of course I mean the wind. And by the wind, I mean the wind blowing in the direction I'm standing. And I'm sorry that I never paid attention in those sailor movies where they said never spit into the wind, because sure enough, Mom blows right back at me. And by back at me, I mean back at my face. And by my face, I mean my nose and my mouth. And of course my face is all wet and weepy, so Mom sticks to it and I inhale with horror. Ugh. Down she goes. Not all of her, but enough, you know? Just a bit to be absolutely horrified that I've just swallowed some of my mother. Which I'm sure could be some beautiful metaphor for mother living inside me and all of that sentimental bull. But really, all I can think about is how I'm gonna go to hell for cannibalizing her.
There's no small parts, only small actors. That's what my father always says. And that's what he said when I told him I was going to be the third woman who sits under the toadstool. Even though I really wanted to be the second woman who waits by the wishing well. See, the second woman is a much bigger part. Well, not much bigger, but she gets to have a whole scene with the princess. And the third woman who sits under the toadstool only says beware. That's all she says, beware. I mean, you'd think they could figure out something else for her to say. Look out! Maybe even, watch out behind you. Don't turn around or you'll see the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. My father says that everyone has to start someplace. He says that even Dustin Hoffman started out by playing parts with only 1 or 2 lines. And Dustin Hoffman never complained. Dustin Hoffman just went out there and did it. So I started thinking of my line. If I only get to say one word, I might as well make sure it's going to be the one word everyone remembers. So I practice. Beware! 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 I practice under my bed, like I'm under the toadstool. Beware! I practice with all the lights out in my room to get in the mood. Beware! I spend weeks getting it just right. I mean, I'm really getting good at it. It may only be one word, but it's gonna be the one word nobody ever forgets. Who cares about the princess? Who cares about the dumb old woman and her wishing well?